We will pass a simple flat tax and abolish the IRS. And all businesses are going to explode. We're going to see millions of high-paying jobs.
The way you create jobs is you make America the easiest and the best place in the world to start a business or to expand an existing business.
I know what's happening in the economy. You don't know it.
Well, then answer the economy.
You haven't employed in your life one person.
There's one person on this stage and one person who's been a candidate for president in either party that restored economic strength, growth, a balanced budget, paid down debt, cut taxes.
Well, the economy, a hot topic at last night's debate. So who has the best plan? Here to weigh in is Carrie Sheffield. She is the founder of Bold.Global and senior writer at Opportunity Lives. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, the economy, amongst a lot of other issues last night that were touched on, in between the name calling. So we want to talk with you about who you think did the best job and who has the best plan. So let's go through each one individually, and let's start with Donald Trump. We can put his plan up there. Zero taxes for those making $25,000 their income or less. So what do you think about his plan?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I would have, and you're right, they were name-calling school children, and I would have loved to hear more specifics. For Donald Trump, I loved what Chris Wallace did. He called Donald Trump out on the fact that he's saying, I'm going to shrink the deficit by cutting all these agencies. And he put up on screen, he could not deny that the deficit that he was saying he was going to shrink, he was off by a magnitude of multiple hundreds of billions of dollars. So thank you, Chris Wallace, for calling him out on that. I mean, Donald Trump, I mean, as far as zero, tax for people under $28,000, we effectively already have that, so I don't think it's anything new, to be honest.
Yeah, his idea basically massive tax cuts for work and investment to increase economic growth here at home. Let's move to Cruz now. Cruz's tax plan, amongst other things, includes a 10% flat tax on individual income and to replace the corporate income tax, all the payroll taxes with a 16% business transfer tax. Now, where do you think he did in terms of economic issues and what he talked about last night?
Well, he had a strong point, I thought, when he was talking about repealing Dodd-Frank. Dodd-Frank is a business killer. It just kills the small banks. And small banks are the ones that lend to community lenders and just small businesses, basically. So I thought that was a strong point for Ted Cruz. In terms of the flat tax, there have been lots of analysis to show that that would cause significant deficits. So I'm a little skeptical, but I think that it's a little more practical than some other plans we're seeing out there, like Trump's, for example.
All right, well, what about Rubio's tax plan? How does it go up against his? Rubio's plan, amongst other things, includes cutting 7 tax brackets to 3, eliminating all taxes on investment income, cutting the corporate tax rate, and then a $2,500 child tax credit.
Right. No, the child tax credit is something that I think he scored big points with social conservatives, with evangelicals, because he talks about being pro-life, wanting to support families. I think that was a strong point. I do think that he could get hit by the fact that, his tax plan, he wants to cut, investor tax, for example. That is something that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce type crowd would be very pro. But I'm not sure that this election cycle is going to support that, given that this is sort of the rise of middle America or kind of the lower income bracket, so it could hurt him.
All right, so finally, just very quickly, we have to talk about Kasich's tax plan as well. Amongst other things, he's saying to cut the top marginal tax rate down to 28%, cut the capital gains rate, cut the corporate tax rate, and then eliminate the estate tax.
Right. No, I actually like Kasich's plan the best, and I think that that's reflective of the fact, as he said, that he's the only candidate on stage who has actually balanced a budget. I think he's the most pragmatic. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to be doing so great in the polls. One other point to hit on the economy, I thought it was very good TV when Marco Rubio said, economically, Donald Trump, if you want to help people, then take those jobs back from China and Mexico where you're making all your clothing. Don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah, but across the board, they all agree that the tax code, in their thoughts, is broken. It needs major reform to boost economic growth and increase investment and make U.S. companies more competitive here at home, and that is true. Thank you so much, Carrie. Appreciate you joining us.
Sure, good to be here.
Thanks.